All right, welcome to the Speak What You Please podcast. This is NFL topics. So this will probably be episode 4. Episode 3 will most likely be NBA. That will come out. My goal is to get it out on Friday. That one you'll see it. It's gonna be about the 75th anniversary and 75th anniversary of the draft. We're just gonna do a draft, but you'll see that video. It's gonna be a good video. I hope everyone likes that one. But this is the NFL topics. And yeah, so I'll give a breakdown to everyone. This is going to be talked about what each team in the NFL, all 32 teams, needs. So me and Eric are going to split up teams. We're both going to get 16-16. I'm going to start it off, and we're just going to break down what teams need for the roster. It could be in the draft. It could be making trades or franchise tags. Obviously, trades happen in the last couple days because today is Thursday, I believe. So there's been trades, there's been franchise tags, some guys got cut, so we'll bring that into perspective as best as we can. But this should be a good podcast. We're going to go by it pretty quick. We don't want to go too long with it, but we'll break down each team. So I'll start it off. I got the Arizona Cardinals, and I'll break them down real quick. So the research I did with the Cardinals here. Now, this team is, I feel like, a couple pieces away from making a jump to maybe contenders. And I think the key things I wrote down here is the secondary, cornerback position. They need another cornerback. Now, they got Byron Murphy Jr., who's a solid corner. I believe at the time he was a second string corner behind Patrick Peterson, who's now in Minnesota now. Byron Murphy needs that other guy to help him. Now, with Arizona, they don't have a lot of money, so they have to figure out a way to make moves, maybe moving guys, cutting guys to bring in maybe a J.C. Jackson. Another corner that I think a lot of people are looking in to get is Gilmore, who's on Carolina right now. I know he's only been there for half a season, but he's a guy that a lot of teams feel like he should be on a contender roster to help them win now. They need a corner, I think. And the other thing I wrote down here is the interior of their offensive line.
Okay.
Now, I'm not talking about the tackles. The tackles are okay. If they keep Kyler Murray, they should be a solid team. They need to get beefier in the middle to help out the run game. And then the other thing I wrote down is the interior of the defensive line. They got to get some presence out there. Chandler Jones is a free agent. I don't know if they'll bring him back. I think a lot of people are going to be bidding for him. And JJ's still there, but JJ's coming off an injury once again, and I don't know how much JJ can withstand after another injury. But the Cardinals, I feel like, are a couple pieces away from being a contender, and they got to sign back Kyler Murray, which is a key thing. But the top thing on their list should be getting a cornerback. And I'm going to pass it off to Eric. He's got the Atlanta Falcons.
To start off, I think you did such a good thing because they have multiple pieces. Honestly, last year they were a contender, but I think after they got JJ and Hopkins, they were just a contender ever since. But they just need that small bit. They need that one quarterback to help the defense on the passing game and the run stopping game as well. I got the Atlanta Falcons. This is kind of an easy one. Matt Ryan needs to go. I say you release him. You have more salary cap, and hopefully, with what pick in the draft do they have? Hold up. They have the 8th pick, and maybe a stretch, but they pick up Kyler Pickett from Pitt. Because honestly, he's a decent quarterback. I feel like he might be the first one going off the board, but you have him, put him in a system with a lot of young guys. I know this dude got hurt and now he's suspended, but he should be back. I'm talking about
Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, that whole drafting situation.
Yeah, he won't be back for a while though, but yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah,
he'll be back.
But for the long term, you're gonna have a new quarterback that's getting just into it. You're gonna have a generational talent with Pitt, and you're gonna also have Calvin Ridley coming back as well, and maybe a few adjustments to their line as well. Their defense is not the greatest, but they don't have that many draft picks as well. They only probably have one right now. They have one each one, like each round. I mean, like so,
Mhm.
and and plus they might need another receiver because they don't really know what to do with Pitt right now. They don't know if to make him a solid tight end or just switch him over to a receiver type. Um, so they also need some adjustments for their line as well. Defensive line, they need some adjustments too. Their whole franchise honestly needs adjustments, but you can only do so much with a salary
Yep.
like that. And I will pass it on to you.
So for me, Eric, I'm gonna just go over to Atlanta real quick. I agree with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan should get cut. I think the thing is with cutting him, you just don't want to get hit with a cap fine that messes up their cap. I would trade him as best as you can because he's still a valuable asset. I think a lot of teams could use him, so I would trade Matt Ryan. That's the only thing I would say.
Okay.
I got the Carolina Panthers. So this one's going to be quick.
Mhm.
They need linebackers. Shaq Thompson is 29, going into 30 years old next season. He's aging quickly, and I believe he reminds me of a Luke Kuechly. That's a little bit like not Luke Kuechly's level, but he's like it reminds me of him because he takes so much of the load on defense, making almost 15 tackles a game, which is a wear and tear on your body because the front four can't really stop anyone in the run game. They need to get someone younger in the middle linebacker position to help him out to make plays in the middle to stop the run game because they get gashed in the run game. The other thing is the offensive line. You got to upgrade the offensive line. It's not a bad O line. You just got to upgrade it as best you can. And I think that's the best thing they got to do. And the final thing, Sam Darnold failed to revive his career in Carolina. And I think now, if I'm Carolina, and I think there's reports they want to keep him and they want to keep rolling with him or find a guy in the draft late. If I'm Carolina, I try to trade him now. I mean, I don't think he'll be a starter on some teams. Maybe you could trade him to Houston because Houston has David Mills, but maybe he can battle with Davis Mills or something. Sam Darnold's not the guy. He failed again. I thought maybe it was because New York. It's really not. I think he's just a bad quarterback. No offense to him. I think he could be a real solid number two, maybe a number one, maybe a starting quarterback on a great roster constructed. He's just not the guy, and I think Carolina needs to move on from him and figure out what to do next. Because that's a real good offense they're wasting with DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, those guys. You've got and Christian McCaffrey, who I think they're going to trade. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to get moved. Injuries, I've heard him. The last 2 years, Eric, he's missed 23 games.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games for a running back. So I think you got to trade him. I know they paid him, but I move off from him so it doesn't hurt you cap wise and just keep rolling with the roster. They have a solid defense, so I just keep rolling with that. The offense needs to get fixed up a little bit. But I'm going to pass it to you, and I think you have the Bears next.
Yes. So with the Bears, defensive wise, I think they have a solid defense. They're gonna have to probably re-sign. Oh my gosh, Mac, and they're probably gonna have to re-sign Mac. He's also aging, but he's still a dog on defense no matter what. Their defense is honestly solid. It's the offense that honestly needs work. They have Fields. They have Justin Fields, but he really couldn't get it going last year. It was his rookie year. He really couldn't get it going when he was in the driver's seat. They kind of like went between a lot of quarterbacks that season too. So the quarterback situation has to be fixed. They have to know who they're going with for the full season and not just all right. Let me play this person for this game or these two games. Then after that, switch over to this game. Now, like because the NFL runs off of RPOs now, I would keep Fields. I would keep Justin Fields because he's a mobile quarterback. He could also throw the ball. For me, like he did not perform to the standards that he was projected to do, but it's the fact that he's still a good quarterback. He's still young. He still can move. Um, he just needs to work on himself as well. And they need a few tweaks to the offensive line. The receiving core, they need a couple tweaks too. They need another number one because I don't think Allen Robertson is on the team anymore. If they can get him back, I suggest to get him back. You feel me? Um, they need a couple more receivers just to help out the quarterback in any situation, and they also need a little bit better of a D line. They not D line or offensive line. Just need a little tweak, a little more. Maybe a new center, then switch that center into a guard. Do a little fixating to see which person would adjust and feel better than being in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with you on that. And I like the one about Allen Robinson. I think a lot of people think that he's gonna walk. If I'm the Bears, I lock him up. I mean, the only guy you'll have if you let him walk is Darrell Mooney, I believe, who's a solid
Yeah.
receiver. He's a deep threat, but it's just you need that guy that can win jump balls. And I've always said that a jump ball receiver helps a lot on teams. If you have a deep threat route running receiver with a jump ball receiver, look at the Chargers. You got Mike Williams, that's a jump ball receiver, and
Hmm.
Keenan Allen, who I believe is the top 10 receiver and route running. You have those duos, it can help Justin Fields in his development. So I like that take right there.
Hmm.
I got the Packers here. Now, obviously, if you guys saw, Aaron Rodgers got signed back on a long-term deal. I don't know if it's true. I know reports said it's not a real contract, but this is the contract that stands right now. It's a 4-year contract for $200 million, Eric. So he's going to be there for the rest of his career. That's a lot of money, though. If that's the real contract, that's a lot of money for a guy. Hopefully, I think they're going to try to break it down to the point where it's like split up in like amounts. So it's not getting a lot of money that year. That's going to affect the cap.
How much is
Um,
he guaranteed? I'm sorry.
how much is guaranteed?
Yes.
I believe it's like 53 million.
Mm. Out of the
Yeah.
four. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you brought back Aaron Rodgers, which I think was the right move, I guess. I didn't really like Jordan Love. They franchise tagged Devontae Adams. I'm surprised. I thought maybe they would have signed him too, but they're
Yeah,
such.
that was honestly my fault, but that was honestly kind of like something different. Like I wasn't thinking that they were going to. I thought they were actually going to just pay the guy because he was doing
Yeah.
phenomenal. But that's what they do. I thought
I didn't.
they should honestly franchise tag Aaron Rodgers and then pay Adams. But I'm not an owner.
That's fine.
I'm not. You know what I mean, so I can't really do anything.
No, I agree with you, especially with Aaron and all the stuff he does. He's a great quarterback. I believe he's a top 2 talent, maybe number 1 talent in the league. And he's probably the best quarterback or top 2 best quarterback, top 3 best quarterback in the league right now. It's just with everything he does, you never know what he's going to do. Like the long-term deal. What if, say, next year something happens? He's like, well, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play for the team anymore. And he sits out and messes up your whole roster, and you still got to pay him. I would have franchised Aaron too. I would have signed Devontae. Devontae, I believe. I know Cooper Cup's a beast, and when DeAndre Hopkins is healthy, he's a beast. Devontae Adams is really good, man. And I know people will probably say, well, he's playing with Aaron Rodgers. That's true, but you got to understand this. Devontae Adams, I believe in the last 5, 6 years, he's been putting up stellar numbers, right? I know he's been playing with Aaron Rodgers, but I believe even if he goes to, say, the Raiders or somewhere else, he'll dominate. But yeah, I didn't get the Devontae Adams franchise tag. That was kind of weird. You should have signed the best receiver in football. I guess the things they need, Eric, I wrote down here.
Hmm.
The upgrade O line. Bakhtiari's coming off an ACL injury, who didn't really play that much this season.
Hmm.
You've got to help out that offensive line, especially with guys like him and I believe Jenkins, who suffered a torn Achilles during the season. You got to boost their offensive line to protect Aaron and receivers. They need a weapon. Alan Lazard's not going to come back on cheap money, nor is MVS, Valdez Scantley. They're not coming back. They're going to want to get paid, and Green Bay doesn't have the money because they paid Aaron and paid other guys. Those two are going to walk, and you got. I think the only way for them to get a good receiver in the draft. I think there's a lot of good young receivers out there. I think you need to get one and to pair with Devontae Adams to just, help that offense. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Green Bay. I'm going to pass it to you. I believe you got the Rams on the next one.
Rams, they're coming off of a Super Bowl championship. Honestly, I don't really think they need anything. They have all the pieces. Maybe they re-sign everybody back and try to go for
Yeah.
another one. Um, we talked this on our first podcast about Jalen Ramsey. I still think he's a really good cornerback. That game wasn't his best game at all. But I think you sign everybody back, try to win another one. If not, have them retire because they already got a ring. The people that
Yep.
needed a ring got a ring. Feel me? You're also gonna get LBJ back. Hopefully, he wouldn't be good as new because he just got ACL tear again during the Super Bowl. But hopefully he'll be back kicking again. Stuff like that, and just try to rock and roll with the squad you have. Honestly, I would just this can be the franchise. This can be like the Patriots run. How they
Hmm.
went consecutively with the people that they had. They made a finer. They made a couple of little tweaks, but they still had their original guys. So hopefully they do that. And if it doesn't go as well, they can go retire and know that they had a ring.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's not much with the Rams. They have a real great unit. It just really comes down to resigning guys, and I think guys will come back because it's a real good unit, and they'll take less money to live in LA and play on a great roster to win another championship, I believe. So it's not much I got on that either. Um, so I got our team, which is the Giants. This might be a little long, so bear with me, whoever's watching the pod right here. New York needs a line. The O line. I don't like the O line. Andrew Thomas has shown promise in the last 2 years somewhat, but he's not that great. But he's shown promise. That's the great thing. Daniel Jones needs to go. I don't know what everyone's thinking. Well, we got a new offensive coordinator. We just get some weapons. Listen, he's not the guy. I'm sorry. I like Daniel Jones. I think he's a solid backup in the league. I just don't think he can take us to that next level. And that's not diss on him. He's a solid quarterback that came out of Duke. It's just, in my opinion, I think we need to make a run. And I believe we have a top 10 pick. I don't remember. I think we should trade Daniel Jones, trade a pick, and get some assets back, and go get Malik Willis out of Liberty in the draft. I really like Malik Willis. I've been saying that for the last couple of days. I've been talking to a couple people about it. He should be our quarterback of the future. I just like him. He's got an arm. He can run. He can throw short, medium, long, deep balls. He can throw everything. I like him, man. I think he's a good quarterback. I know people are going to say he played in Liberty. It's shaky. He didn't really play comp, which I understand. But from what I saw on the pro day, I think he'll be a solid quarterback. You know. The other thing, offensively, our weapons are shaky. I would say trade. I don't know what we're going to do with Kenny Galladay. I remember I told you, Eric, too. I said this contract, the contract just looks bad now because he's not playing well. You know, Kenny Galladay came out of Detroit putting up 1,000 yards a season with almost 80 catches plus, with at least 8 to 9 touchdowns. Now he's not producing, and he had no touchdowns this year, and he played most of the season. So it's just, I know people are gonna say Daniel Jones was out on that, but still, with Daniel Jones in, he wasn't doing anything. And I feel like we should trade Kenny Galladay. Shepard, I like him. He's calling off an Achilles tear, but I think we should move him too. He's been a long time Giant, but we should move him. Evan Ingram, I've been vouching this. I think Evan Ingram, it's time for him to go. I know we like him. Some people like him. I'm not the biggest fan. He's a solid tight end. He reminds me of Jimmy Graham. So if you're a Jimmy Graham type tight end, you gotta be almost to the point you gotta win every catch. Contest it, wide open, you better be a great route runner. Like Travis Kelce is not the best blocker, as you know. But he's such a great weapon as a tight end because he catches almost everything. He makes up for that part from not being a great blocker. Or you just gotta be an all around tight end. Where you're like Gronk or who's another tight end I'm trying to think of? George Kittle, who can block, but then catch too. So that's how I think of it. Going to the defense, I don't think we're that far. I like our secondary. I like Xavier McKinney and Jabril Peppers when we get him back from the ACL tear. I like our corners and Dory Jackson and James Bradbury and Darnell Holmes as our nickel back, so I like them. I've been saying this. I think we need guys in the front seven. Leonard Williams' contract isn't looking great right now. I believe he only had 6.5 sacks last year, which is not the best for a guy that's getting paid almost 18 to 21 million a year. I just want a little bit more production from him, and I think he could do it. I just think he needs that other pass rusher. If we don't trade Daniel Jones and we keep that top 10 pick and say pass rushers drop, I don't think they will, but if they do, I hope the Giants, if we can get a steal, we can get Kayvon Thibodeau. If he drops, and Aiden Hutchinson, I hope, but I don't think he's going to drop. I think Aiden Hutchinson goes in the first 3 picks by some team. But I think that's what we need to do. The front seven is huge, and we need linebackers. I hope we get linebackers. That's the key. We need linebackers. Blake Martinez is cutting it. Not the biggest fan of him. He's an okay linebacker. I just don't like him because he makes downfield tackles after missing guys in the box. Then he tackles guys downfield, so I don't like that. But that's all I got on the Giants. I don't want to go too much into it, but I'm going to pass it back to you, Eric, and I think you have the Eagles for this one.
Eagles. All right. So NFC East, back-to-back NFC East teams. Honestly, the Eagles, they're honestly like I'm a Giants fan, so deep down in my heart, I'm biased and stuff like that. But honestly, they have the pieces. They constructed, a decent receiving core for for Hurts. Hopefully, they change up how because Hurts can move. Hurts can move, and I don't know why they're keeping him in the pocket and stuff like that. No, he could move. He could do not a lot of like not a lot of like Raven stuff where they RPO and Lamar and have him run for like 100 or something yards, but you could have him run a little bit, which opens up the run and pass game. To say you they come out, they run RPO, he takes the ball, runs. No one's gonna really expect that because that's not on the film, right? He runs, did that 15 yards. All right, now they're gonna have to worry about him. Now they're gonna have to worry about him running and using his legs now, and also run about the receivers that they have. They have Smith, they have Devontae Smith, and he's really good. Like they paired him up, and what is it called? They paired him up together from Alabama, and they're gonna do the thing. They already have that chemistry. I just think they're gonna need another tight end because this dude I think Zach Ertz left. Yeah, Zach Ertz
Yeah, he
left.
did.
So they need
Yeah.
another tight end. Hopefully someone who's fairly decent rounded, that could really block. They need line touches, they need a little touch on the line. But the line is honestly not as bad as some other people's in the league, but it still could do some work. So hopefully add another tight end, you know, add that sixth guy that can be on the line and block, but also could run at least a decent route and get open and have him catch for a decent amount of yards. Feel me? Defensively, they need linebacker core needs a little tweaks, a little tweaks. I'm not gonna say a lot, a little tweaks. Secondary, they need another safety. Their safety been getting burnt all year. They goes over the top, and he just looking like, where's it going? Like they don't know what he's gonna do. The corners trying their best. They can't really do anything. Secondary is looking like freaking uh like shoot, they looking like the JFK airport. Everybody take a flight. Let's be realistic now. This is like pass over the
Oh
top.
man.
The front seven they could do also work. Defensively they need work, but it's solid enough to keep most of them another year. But they do need work to tweak. I feel like if they have a linebacker that could really lead the team and group the defense, they would be able to probably have better games than they used to. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
But,
I
I don't
agree.
want to go far off the long, so I'm going to pass it to you.
Yeah, bro. And I just want to make this quick take. I agree. The Eagles, as much as they're in the same division as the Giants, you gotta be real. They're a solid team. They're not far away. And Jalen Hurts almost reminds me of, I don't know, tell me if this is wrong, but he reminds me almost like a Mike Vick, but mixed in with a Tim Tebow. So like he could
Mm-hmm.
run like Tim Tebow, but he has a better arm and accuracy than Tim Tebow, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like this unit, and their O line's not that far away, like you said. And the safety, yes, they gotta fix the safety. I heard Landon Collins just got cut a few hours ago. I think they should go get Landon Collins. I know Collins has injury history, but if you get him, he's a really, really good cover safety. He's never been great in a box. That's why people don't know how to understand how to use him. That's what the Giants, I don't get why they let him walk almost a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Because he's a great over-the-top cover safety. He's not in the box. He's not a Jamal Adams. He's a guy that covers over the top and makes big plays. Um, but my next team is Tampa. Now, I know Tampa franchise tag Chris Godwin, and I know they're trying to get Gronk back and Leonard Fournette. I heard that they're going to let Ronald Jones walk, which is fine. I like Ronald Jones. I think he should go to another team, like maybe a team that's almost trying to up and coming, that's trying to rebuild. Like a Miami should go get him.
Mm.
Or as much as I would say he's young, he's 25, 26, a Houston or a team that's rebuilding or trying to get up there should go get Ronald Jones. They need a quarterback. The two quarterbacks they have in the room right now, Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask, I have right here. I don't know if they can be starter guys that could win you more than 4 games, but they'll be serviceable, I guess, and maybe you can see what happens. But honestly, I think they have a team that can contend even next year with the offense they have. Now, I know they lost a guard that retired at 28. I forgot his name. Ryan Jensen's a free agent who's, I believe, a top 5 center. So you got a couple things you got to do, but remember that old line they had, almost 4 out of 5 guys were all pro ballers. So it's a great O line. So they'll be okay, I think, with any quarterback. And I think that with the quarterbacks left there, they should go get a guy like Jimmy G. They should go
Mm.
look at a guy like trying to think who else. even making a big blockbuster move, I would say go all in because you have a good unit. Maybe a Kirk Cousins. Now that's a hot take, but I would say Kirk Cousins because maybe he could do something for you the next 2 years on his contract. Um, Offensively, they're fine. They brought back Chris Godwin, like I said. They're trying to get a long-term deal with him. Um, Mike Evans is a beast, like I said before. Going to the defense, they need to get a little bit more pass rush. The secondary, I'll get to them, but the pass rush needs to get there, but it's not far. I feel like they need a young pass rusher. I like Shaq Barrett. I like JPP, but they're both in their late or getting into their late 30s. Late 30 pass rushers don't really do that well in the NFL because the age and the wear and tear on your body. It's just going to be tough for them to keep up those 10 plus sack seasons. I like their middle linebackers. Obviously, they got Levante David and Devin White. That's solid. The secondary. Corners, corners, corners. They should really be looking into corners. And I don't know what pick they have. I think they have a top 20 pick. They should be looking at corners. A guy that's underrated in the draft out of Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner. That should be the top of their list. That's my favorite corner in the draft. I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at him because he's got
Yeah.
great footwork. He's 6'3", he's 200 pounds. He can run a 4.4. He's a big corner that runs a 4.4. That's impressive. So
Yeah.
for me, a lot of teams, and especially the Buccaneers, should be looking at Sauce Gardner. But that's all I got in Tampa. I'm not going to go too much into it, but they brought back some guys, and I think they should make some trades. That's really all they got to do. So I'm going to pass it to you, and we're going to go back to the NFC, and I'm going to let you go with Washington here, I think. Yeah, Washington.
Washington, trade. They just picked up. They just signed Carson Wentz. Honestly, I'm sorry, but that no, that's not the greatest move you do. That's not. I'm sorry. He he's injury prone. He's just not that good of a quarterback. Yes, he showed some promise when he was back at Philly, but then after that, he almost got his job taken by a second string quarterback that won them the championship. What the? Bro, ain't no way. Decline. My fault. My fault.
Now you
Literally,
straight.
what is it called? I have my thing hooked up to my to my phone, right? And Johnny called, and it just literally like just wiped out. I'm like, what the heck? But like I was saying, man almost got his job taken away by a second string. Um, he went to the Colts, didn't do anything, and the Colts are a really good team. So I don't understand how you don't do anything with the people that they have. So I think that was a stupid decision on their part. I'm sorry, I might get a lot of hate for this, but it's the worst decision that you guys could do. Worst.
Damn.
I'm sorry, it's the worst. Defense, you guys are honestly good. You guys lost Landon Collins, but you guys could pick up a safety in the draft. You feel me? That could replace him. Your defense is actually good. Your defense is probably, when healthy, maybe top 10 in the league. Honestly, you might be pushing it a little bit, but they showed promise.
No, I agree with you on that.
Young, Ching Chung, monster at the edge.
Yep.
No one could block him.
Yep.
Since his rookie season,
Mm-hmm.
nobody could block him. Like their defense is honestly good. The front seven are good. You know, the safety, the cornerbacks are solid. You feel me? They can run with everybody. They just need that safety. They just do. On the offensive side, you know, your past quarterbacks kept on getting hurt. You know, maybe you tweak up that line a lot. You know, now that you're gonna have another, injury prone guy, getting hurt again, losing all that cap space and money. So
Yeah.
now they got the quarterback. You feel me? You fix that lineup. You fix that lineup. You trade. Maybe you get people in the draft. Get a lineman in the draft. Probably a tackle. I don't know what pick they have, but the Alabama tackle I feel like would be a great fit for them.
Yeah.
He's strong. He could pass. His pass rush, his run game, his run blocks are really good. He's very mobile. He could do all that. He came from Alabama, so he came from a good program as well. So that's trustworthy. Um, but yeah, literally worst decision though, picking up Carson Wentz. And I end on that note.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. All Washington fans. Don't get hyped for him. He's not gonna do anything. I'm Brady
Listen,
speaking.
bro. Listen, bro, that's not a bad take. Carson Wentz isn't my favorite quarterback. He's not terrible. It's just the injuries and inconsistent play from him just hurts a lot of teams and it hurts the organization. And I think that's why the Colts moved on from him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now I got the Bengals. Now this is gonna be quick. O line, O line, O line. That should be their top priority,
Literally.
right? And free agency, I believe they have $50 million to $55 million. You got money. Go get the tackle from the Saints, Armstead. Go get the right guard from the Washington Commanders and Sheriff. Build the O line. This draft is built for O linemen. So there's a deep O lineman class. So go draft in the O line.
Mm-hmm.
Go draft for the O line. Protect Joe Burrow, right? I think that's the key thing. If we're talking about other little pieces, I think bring back CJ Uzama,
Mm-hmm.
solid tight end, right? When healthy, remember he was banged up with a knee sprain, so he really wasn't his best in the Super Bowl. But bringing him back, that's key. Going to defense. I like their defense. I think the only thing they need to do is re-sign B.J. Hill. Um, Keep that unit together. The front seven's solid. Trey Henderson was a great move. I know I kind of was a little hesitant about him because I was like, it's only one good year. He played with Cameron Jordan. I was like, that's probably why he had a good season because they were doubling him. No, that's a lie. That guy's good. Trey Henderson is a good pass rusher. The secondary. Get a corner. You got the money. So I would say maybe you go get 2 vets in the free agency and then they should use the money to get J.C. Jackson. Because it looks like New England ain't going to sign him back, which is kind of shocking. But go get J.C. Jackson, who I believe is a top 5 corner in the league. He's a playmaker in the secondary. He boosters your secondary. You already got, I believe, who's his name? Jesse Bates, right?
Yes.
Is a top tier safety.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be fine. With Von Bell back there, who's a hard-hitting, strong safety, you bring in J.C. Jackson, the Bengals are right back in great position to get back to the Super Bowl. And that's all I got to say about the Bengals.
I
I'm
have a
going to
question
pass it to
though.
you.
I have a
Yeah,
question with the Bengals. Do they or do they not get rid of Eli Apple for what he got done to in the Super Bowl?
they get rid of him. I don't think
Yeah.
it's partially because of the Super Bowl.
Oh
I
yeah.
think they're just going to get rid of him. It's just because he's made a lot of plays where he just gives up a lot of big plays in the games. Now it's not a diss on Eli Apple. I think he's a he's a he's an average corner that's good when he's around great corners. He can't be the number 1 or number 2 option for your corner. He should be your nickel corner. That's really it. Because I don't really want him on the outside guard in the 1 and 2 because he gets beat sometimes. But I think they let him walk, Eric. But Eli will get a contract as much as people bashed him after the Super Bowl because he did get beat. Cooper Kupp killed him.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. He killed him. But Eli Apple will get a contract just because he's still a solid average corner in a way. He makes plays when needed. Sometimes he'll have games where he's just getting beat bad. But Eli Apple walks. I don't think they sign him back.
Okay. Okay. All right. Moving on to me, I have the bro. This dude Johnny, bro. What the? My fault. I have the Browns. First job. Get rid of Mayfield. Baker
Mm.
Mayfield. Get rid of him. Like, just, you go to him. You say, my brother.
My brother.
You was a great entertainment for us. You was a pleasure to have in the locker room. I could say. Then you traded his ass. I'm sorry. Then you traded him. He said that was right somewhere else.
You just sweet talk him and then trade him.
That's literally what they do. You're done. I'm sorry. You're done.
You did a good job. Oh, we're gonna trade you too.
We're gonna trade you. You know, feel me?
Yeah.
We loved what you did on the Browns, but you're gone. Get them a quarterback that will do some damage with the
Yeah.
receiver core that they have. I think they actually just franchised I forgot how you pronounce his name.
Oh, David Njoku?
Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
they franchise tagged him, so they're gonna keep him long term. They also got Landry. They also got Landry. The defense and the line is solid. They just really couldn't do. The defensive line is solid. The secondary is solid. Everything's solid on defensive end. But the quarterback situation, they have good running backs as well. The quarterback situation
Yeah.
is probably their main problem, and them just
Yeah.
probably staying healthy as well. So, like I said, you sweet talk Baker Mayfield and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, you're done.
We're letting you go. We're letting you go.
we out. Feel me? If they want
Oh
a pocket
man.
passer quarterback, literally, probably, I can see this trade trade Atlanta for Baker Mayfield and get Matt Ryan.
That's actually a great trade.
He's a veteran. He's a veteran. He's a leader, and he'll get the job done for them.
Yes, that's a great trade. I like that move, Eric. And with the Browns, they're not far away. It's the quarterback. It's
Yeah.
no diss to Baker. It's just I don't think he's the guy for this type of team. If he wants to be the guy that wants to throw the ball all around, I like the move to Atlanta, right? Atlanta needs a quarterback for the future. Baker's 24, 25, maybe 26.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan's a vet. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's put up great numbers for a long time. He's a former MVP. You put him in that run scheme with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the Browns will be scary because Matt Ryan will throw at least 25 touchdowns and he'll bring the picks down to maybe 7 because he doesn't turn the ball over like that. I like that. I like that. My next team is the Colts. This is going to be quick again from me. They need a quarterback. I know some people have talked about, well, why don't they just draft one? They got a top 10, I think a top 10 pick, maybe top 15 pick. They should go get a quarterback in the draft. I don't think so. The quarterbacks are not the best in this year's draft. There's 2 real solid quarterbacks. I think the Colts should really try to trade for someone like Jimmy G. If they want to build a great roster, because they got money, build a nice roster around, and maybe you bring in a guy like Jameis Winston or a Teddy Britt. Like make moves like that.
Don't worry
What
about
happened?
that. Let me just.
What does that say? What does that say?
All right, I'll read it to you. Um, Bears are attempting to finalize a trade now that will send 6-time Pro Bowl DN Khalil Mack to the Chargers. Sources tell
Oh,
by ESPN.
okay. Well, I guess I'll go over that quick. I think it's like a topic for another day, but
Mm-hmm.
we could bring it in now too. It's perfect. But
Yeah, like literally, because we're just talking about them.
I'm gonna get to that later because I
Mm-hmm.
got the Chargers next. But
Gotcha.
to finish up on the Colts, um, yeah, man, I think they just need a quarterback and maybe upgrade receivers. They need to upgrade the receivers. There's only one good receiver, which is Pittman, who hit 1,000 yards. The next best receiver was only had 450 yards, which is not great.
Mm-hmm.
So T.Y. Hilton's been a solid deep route receiver. Injuries are catching up to him because he's in his 30s now. I think they go
Yeah,
draft some receivers
he's old.
and upgrade that team, man, and upgrade the O line a little bit because the O line's still good. I think you just
Mm-hmm.
need one more piece. They should be fine. The coach should be fine. I think they just need to get a quarterback. But that's it. I'm gonna pass it to you, and you got the Jags.
Jags. Myers is gone, so we don't have to worry about it. They're under new leadership, right, bro?
Yep.
you know, honestly, mm, first thing that comes to mind, O line, settle that situation. Put put Trevor Lawrence behind a good O line or at least a
Mhm.
decent enough O line, so he can at least have time to throw. So, I mean, he wasn't the greatest his rookie year. He wasn't the greatest last year, but I feel like he has potential. He does. Feel me? We've seen it in college. He's seen what he can do, and we know what he can do, and he probably could do better. Better if he's put behind a couple of veteran O linemen, or you trade upwards to get a no, they actually have. Wait, I'm capping. They have which pick? I think
Second.
second. Yeah,
Yep.
like you said before, this draft is made for linemen, O line. Pick up a really good O lineman second round. I mean
Hmm.
first round with the second overall pick. Pick up really good linemen. Have protect your quarterback that you probably might that's probably gonna try to be your franchise guy. You feel me? Protect him. Don't let him get hurt. Running back, solid. They have a pretty good running back, honestly. That he just needs, a line to get behind. You feel me? So he could be able to make plays. He's not that running back. The running back's good, but he's not. Oh, I'm going to. He's not the guy that basically what Saquon did with the Giants. He's not that guy. Oh, even though I have a bad O line, I'm finna make these plays. He did make some of those plays, but it's the fact of his own line is kind of wearing and tearing him down. You feel me? And you need him to be solid. You get a tight end. I don't know what they were trying to do with Tebow. I don't know. That was just for jokes. That was just for jokes at the beginning
Yep.
of the season. But you get a solid tight end. They already have one, but it's just like you get another one just for competition's sake, and just to know like yo, your spot. You need to perform better before your spot gets taken. Defensively, honestly, their defense, their linemen, their front seven is solid. I'd probably get another Mike back. Pick up a Mike back in the draft, or trade for a veteran one, and safeties and corners. Maybe you upgrade those a little bit because you guys are just getting ran on, thrown on. Like there's a lot of they have cap space, but it's not enough to fully redo this team. You get what I'm saying? So they're
Mhm.
gonna have to make some trades, some releases just to get those people that they do need. But their main priority should be O line though, just so they can get that offense going, and just to see
Yeah.
for the future's sake. Okay, we got the O line. Let's see what our true problem is. Is it in the secondary? Is it in the linebacker core? Which might be, pick up a linebacker. Feel me? Have that
Yeah.
guy in the box that's gonna really, call out run pass or be that run stopper, be that person that can drop back into a pass, do something, bring in a guy that's gonna be very versatile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with
yeah,
you on that, Eric. And for me, I think for the Jags, they're not far away. I think they got a good coach. They got the quarterback.
hmm
You put together some key pieces in the draft and free agency. They got money.
hmm
They'll be fine. And I think the Jags are not far away. Plus, they're in a division that's not tough
hmm
because you got Houston that's struggling.
hmm
Tennessee is up and down because of Ryan Tannehill. Um, and I forget the other team. The Colts. The Colts don't have a quarterback right now. So,
yeah,
the Jags can make a run. Um, my next team is the Chargers. So, as Eric stated earlier, Khalil Mack was traded, or they're finalizing a trade to send Khalil Mack to the Chargers.
hmm
This actually helps my my breakdown of what the team needs because
hmm
I'm just going to talk about Khalil Mack. The offense is good. Herbert's a beast. They got an O line. They got weapons. The defense is subparly decent, but I've always said Joey Bosa needs that other guy next to him that can get after the quarterback. Well, now he's got him. He's got Khalil Mack on the other side. This makes the Chargers, in my opinion, this might be a stretch, but I think it makes them contenders. If Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa could combine for almost 35 sacks, maybe 40 sacks this season, which I think they could, because the stats Khalil had this season, Eric. He's 31 years old. He only has 6 sacks. He did miss some games because of
hmm
injury, but when he's out there, he's a beast. And I think with Joey Bosa and him, they can get after the quarterback. Maybe you booster the interior to stop the run because they get gashed by the run a lot. They gave up, I believe, 185 yards on the run for the run, so they get gashed every time up the middle.
hmm
So they gotta stop the run, but Khalil Mack definitely helps that. He's gonna get after the quarterback. He's gonna force some fumbles. His career best in forced fumbles is 23, which is a lot for a pass rusher. I think it's a great move, and I don't got much on the Chargers. They got a great offense, in my opinion. They just needed to upgrade the defense, and they just did picking up a Khalil Mack for the next couple of years.
hmm
Obviously, like you said, they're going to sign him, I think. I think the key thing is to sign Khalil Mack, lock him in with Joey, and roll with that roster.
hmm
But I'm going to throw it right back to you because we're on actually a great pace right now,
hmm
and we're going through this pretty quick. I want to keep going by it quick, but I'm going to pass it to you, and you got the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. Honestly, this team is the upper coming team. This team is an upper coming team. For everyone who's saying that they're not good, they don't have the pieces. They do. They do need pieces. Tweak the
Yeah,
O line a little bit. Tua is a pretty decent quarterback. Honestly, you put him in honestly get a coach. I'm not saying the coach is bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but after the whole scandal and stuff like that, saying that the coach, losing games, get him a coach that will have him, that will utilize his skill.
yeah,
I think in the right now in the NFL, he's the only lefty quarterback. Use
yeah, I
that.
believe so.
Make people uncomfortable. Having to defend him. Yes, even though
Hmm.
yes, he's just a quarterback, but he's a lefty. How many times do you have you're going against a lefty quarterback? that could be versatile. But that could be versatile. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
utilize his talents. You don't just have him in the pocket. You go, you have him scramble out a little bit. Run some spread, run some what is it called? Run some not speed option, sprint. Run some sprint where the lineman and quarterback all run in a certain direction, shifting the line over, just so you can have
Yeah.
him have some time, just so he can get his legs moving a little bit. Yes, he's injury prone. I can't say that he gets banged up, but that shouldn't be your biggest concern. If you guys know, if they know what they're gonna do with Tua and they're gonna have him as the franchise guy, they're gonna know. Okay, he's injury prone. Lineman, let's give him the best O line that we could possibly get. Defensively, they're solid there. Honestly, they might need a little tweaks, I'm not gonna say a cornerback situation because their corners are really good. They got their corners are really good. Their safety is pretty solid. I don't think they let up a lot of over the air balls. It's really just cutting down, getting down and dirty with the front seven, with the D tackles. My fault. I'm sorry. With the D tackles, you get a solid D tackle. Honestly, I'm sorry. We might lose. They could trade for our guy Williams. They could probably trade for him or pick him up because I
Hmm.
feel like he will actually thrive in their defense. I feel like he will. He will stop. He will be the run stopper that they need. Just so then after that, everything has to be over the top because everything probably. Let me go up into Miami Dolphins. I'm just looking up real quick.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Dolphins. How many passing
Nah,
yards?
I agree though. But Leonard Williams will help the interior because he
Mm-hmm.
works better in a 3-4 type scheme instead of we kind of run almost. I don't know what New York runs, but I think we run a 3-4. But our 3-4 is weird. Like we'll run a 3-4, but then we look like we're running a 4-3 formation, which is weird. But I think Leonard Williams will help that unit in the middle though. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
To Miami. In the 2021 season, they let up. They let up. They'll they'll let up 227.7 passing yards per game. That's really bad, honestly. It's
Yeah.
not the worst, but it's still bad because you're still having people go over the top, head topping you guys, looking like you guys are,
Yep.
like I said, the JFK airport. Everything take off, everything lift off type stuff. You get a solid safety back there. Keep everything like in front of you. Then
Yeah.
after have Williams come stop the run because that's what they're gonna start doing if they can't get the ball over. For me, so
No,
um,
I agree. I agree with that, and I think that's a perfect take on it. What Miami needs because they have a solid secondary. They just need to upgrade the pass rush and and forcing them to run the ball, then stop the run.
and they're also
My
an
team,
up and coming team too.
yep, and then my next team is the Steelers. So
Mm-hmm.
the defense is they need a corner. They need a corner. I hope they can get someone in the draft. I keep going back to him. I'll keep saying his name. Sauce Gardner should be their top corner in the draft. I think he's the best corner in the draft. I think if they can get him in another corner in the second or third round, it helps the secondary. And it doesn't even need to be great corners that are great in zone or man. These guys in this draft are fast. Just get some fast dudes out there. Now I'm not saying everything has to be this guy has to be every position has to be fast. No, but speed does help. Speed and athleticism does help, and let them just play. Then you can coach them throughout the season and stuff for them to learn things, right? The other thing is they need a quarterback. Mason Rudolph is not the guy. I don't want him to start. I hope he doesn't really start. He's a solid number two, maybe even three, if we're being real. I think they should go get someone like Jameis Winston or Mitchell Trubisky just for a year because you already have a good defense, right? Get those guys. I would get a mobile quarterback. And that's why I'm kind of leaning more to Mitchell Trubisky. Get a mobile quarterback because they've never really had a mobile quarterback like that. Get a guy that can move around, run, and can make a dynamic type offense that helps out Najee Harris too, who had almost 300 carries this season. That's a lot of carries. And I've always said a back should never go over 300 carries. That's a lot of wear and tear on the back. Look at Saquon. His first 2 years in the league, he had 700 carries. And look at him now. Now Saquon's kind of banged up now. I don't want that to happen to Najee. They should get a mobile quarterback. You could run read options and stuff like that. The defense, like I said, they just need a corner. What else on the offense? The O-line. Get the O-line right. You got to get the O-line right. The O-line got better down the stretch because they got to play together, and maybe that's what you need. I would bring in a vet. Ryan Jensen should be their center. A center makes the offensive line work better and work as a unit. Bring in Ryan Jensen for 2 to 3 years and pay him about $10 million a year, and tell him I need you to get these young guys right and get a nice scheme going in Pittsburgh. They should be all right. But I'm going to pass it back to you real quick. We're on great time right now. Throw it back to you, and we're going to go with Tennessee here.
Tennessee. I see. The Titans, honestly, have everyone healthy. They have the guys on offense, you know. I'm not even going to touch on their offense. Maybe, you know, hopefully Tannehill would, you know, perform a little bit better. But he's performing decently. You know, I'm not going to say he's such a great quarterback. Not yet. But he's performing decently. He's making the right reads. He's doing the right things. They have the guys, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry. When that group is healthy, they're probably the most scariest group in football.
Yes. Yep.
I kid you not.
I agree.
You cannot tell me a scarier group than that. Like you're gonna have two deep route receivers that will head top you, that will make you look crazy, with a running back that will stiff arm the crap out of you. I'm sorry. You're not stopping him. Like, you can't. So, offense, they're fine. Defense, honestly, I don't even see anything wrong with their defense, really. Probably get a different coach, have a different little scheme. But, you know, they're really, when healthy, they're a playoff contender team.
I agree. And I think
they're number one in the AFC.
Yep.
Yeah, they're number one in the AFC with Derrick Henry hurt. So
that's
imagine him in the lineup and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. If they're not far away, it's just staying healthy on offense. Mm-hmm. Julio, hopefully he bounces back next year. I know injuries hurt him a lot. He didn't have a great campaign, probably his worst season of his NFL career. But injuries played a part. Remember, Julio's older now, right? Same as A.J. Brown, really good receiver. I just want him to stay healthy too. Defensively, you're right. The defense is good. I think the only thing they need maybe is a corner. Because not Dory Jackson. I believe I forgot his name, but Jenkins, who's their corner. Jenkins, I believe, who used to play in New York. He's okay. He's older. I think they need a younger corner. But my next team is the Cowboys. I'm not going to hate on the Cowboys here. I'm going to help out the Cowboys as best as I can.
Okay.
This is a hot take because this is going to be tough for me because I'm not the biggest Cowboy fan. I know there's a lot of Cowboy fans that watch this podcast, so I'm going to be nice. Cowboys fans, you guys need to get better in the secondary. That's it. The rest of the unit is not bad. You're going to cut Amari Cooper. Okay. I'm not really a fan of that, but okay. I don't get that because CeeDee Lamb CeeDee Lamb's a good receiver. Don't get me wrong. He did have some drops, though, down the stretch and the postseason. He wasn't the receiver we thought he was. I think pressure got to him maybe because he's a younger receiver, but maybe he bounces back. I think he will. Corners. You need corner. I like Trayvon Diggs. I really do, but I think somebody told me before, Jovan, he was telling me Trayvon Diggs is a top 5 corner. Listen, I like Trayvon Diggs. I think he's a top 10, maybe top 12 corner. He reminds me of Marcus Peters. He gives up plays, but then he's going to make some plays. And, sometimes people like dazzles in corners, but sometimes you don't because they give up plays most of the time. Right? They gamble. No shot at Calvin Ridley. But what I'm just saying here is they need corners. And that's all I'm going to go on the Cowboys. They have a good unit. I think they just got to get better. The coaches, I don't like Mike McCarthy that much. I would rather them maybe fire him and maybe get someone else. Mm-hmm. Not to get on Mike McCarthy. I think he's been a solid coach. He has a ring. He's been a real good coach in this league. I just feel like they needed another coach in there. Just somebody that could take over and run the organization, time management wise and stuff like that. But the Cowboys aren't far, man. I think as Cowboys fans, you guys aren't far. But I mean, cutting Amari Cooper, possibly there's talks they want to let go DeMarcus Lawrence too. So Cowboy fans, if I'm trying to help you here, hopefully they don't cut both of them. If you do cut one, maybe you cut Amari Cooper, but don't cut both. That's going to mess up your team. But if we're talking from a fan perspective, as a Giants fan, I guess that's fine. That's cool. You can cut them. But I'm going to throw it back to Eric here. And Eric's got the Detroit Lions, which should be a quick topic. And it should come right back to
All right, I'm gonna get this in one go.
Okay.
Everything done. No, I'm sorry.
Everything. Just everything.
Literally, you lose probably your best receiver. You lose your best receiver, got nothing. You pick up a really good O lineman, can't really use him that much because you got nothing to do anything with. You got no defense, you got no offense. You barely got a special teams as it is. Shoot,
Thank you.
fire everybody on the team. Like, come on, everything.
Yeah, man. And Detroit, there's no diss on Detroit fans out there. You guys are just a long ways away, man. Long ways away.
Very long ways away. I'm sorry.
Just keep building in the draft. You guys hit on a couple guys in the draft like Panay Sewell and St. Brown, and I like Swift. Just keep building in the draft. Like Eric said, you guys have a great O line. You guys really do have a good O line. It's just you don't have weapons and you don't really have a great running game to use it. So it's just tough to use the O line. It's just wasted. And the defense needs work. But Detroit, you guys aren't far. It's just gonna take a while, right? Back to me. I got the Vikings.
Okay.
Listen, I like Minnesota. I think they're a team that every year I feel like they should be in the postseason just because they have two really good receivers in Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. They got a real solid, in my opinion, top 5 back in Dalvin Cook. The defense has been bad the last 3 years. I think they need to get better, and I think I told you this before, Eric. They gotta get help in the front 7. They got to. Not Anderson Griffin. Hunter. Daniil Hunter hasn't been able to stay healthy the last 2 years. He's missed 13 games. I need him to stay healthy, and it's not going to be easy for him to stay healthy like that for 17 games now. That means you got to go make a move, Minnesota. If that means cutting some guys and making room, I bring in a Chandler Jones. I bring in a Chandler Jones because it upgrades your pass rush. You upgrade your front 7. The other thing is, get better I would say, at the corner position. You don't really have a great corner. Your best corner is Patrick Peterson, who's age 34. No diss to Patrick Peterson. He's just older. It's just he's been known for his man coverage. And when you're an older corner, it's tough to stay man to man like that unless you're primetime Deion Sanders, who played actually solid in his late 30s. Going back to the offense, though, Eric, I think they should trade Kirk Cousins. I know they're like, we want to rough it out. We can get it going. They should trade Kirk Cousins.
I think so too, my boy. You know what I mean? He's not it.
I think he should go. And Kirk Cousins he had a real good season. He was a Pro Bowler this year. I just think he's just not the guy to get you to that next level. And I think if you trade him to maybe, I know we brought up Matt Ryan, Cleveland. I know it sounds weird, but maybe Kurt might be even better than Baker. And if you're Minnesota, you take Baker and he's a young quarterback. Maybe he shows you something. That's just me. I like Kurt. I just don't think he's the guy for Minnesota, especially with Justin Jefferson and Thielen, because you're wasting those two's talent, especially Thielen, who's age 30 now. Because sooner or later, if Thielen doesn't get it, if you can't do anything with this team, you're going to have to trade Thielen because you don't want to keep an older receiver on the roster. Might as well trade him for draft picks. But I don't want them to do that because they have a good offense with those 3 guys I named in Jefferson, Thielen, and Cook. But the Vikings, I don't think you guys are far. It's going to be a rough couple years, though, because Aaron Rodgers is still in your division. So best of luck to the Viking fans out there. But I don't think they're far. I think if you just move Kurt and get a quarterback, a younger quarterback, I think you'll be okay. I'm going to throw it back to Eric, and he has the Saints here.
So the Saints, they've been through after Brees left, they've been through this loop of quarterbacks, who they want to get, and who they don't want to use, and stuff like that. I think, honestly, Get Winston off the team. Get Winston off the team. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Get get that. Honestly, keep. I forgot what his name is. I forgot. Mom, on a podcast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, guys. I think you keep that person that could do.
I'm sorry. Keep going, bro. My bad.
I forgot his name. He stepped into the quarterback position, but like he did everything. I forgot what his name is.
Taysom Hill.
Yes, him. Keep him, but
Yeah.
not use him as a quarterback. I'm sorry.
Yes.
He could do everything else, but quarterback he didn't really fit when you guys put him in there, so you don't have him there.
Yeah.
You can trade honestly because you guys been such a pocket pass, give the ball off to your running back type of franchise, type of system. You could honestly you could even trade for um I forgot his name. We've been throwing up Baker Mayfield a lot. Maybe no, I don't. No, that would just wouldn't fit. No,
Mm-mm.
I don't think so because he just too. No, that wouldn't fit.
They just wouldn't fit in the
Honestly,
scheme.
if I can honestly see Matt Ryan going there.
Yes.
Trade
Yes.
Matt Ryan going there. Have that whole other Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield trade. You guys trade Jameis Winston and get Matt Ryan and probably another pick. You feel me? Get
Yeah.
him. You know but the team will be old. So after that, you guys are gonna have to be in a rebuilding season. You guys are really starting to age, so they're gonna have to really get some new guys, get some fresh legs
Yes.
and stuff like that right after.
Yeah, man. And I'm with you. And I think with Matt Ryan, maybe it pauses the rebuilding phase a little bit because Michael Thomas is supposed to come back. You still have not Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara. So, and the defense is still a top five defense. So if you can, it's almost like an orange. If you have enough orange, like the juice left in the orange, so you could squeeze enough out of the orange to get some orange juice, I would do it. I would squeeze enough of that defense you have left because, like you said, they're aging. You got to get him as much as you can out of that defense and the offense. So I would make a move and get Matt Ryan. I like that move. I think that would be a great move for them. Now, I got the 49ers. This is going to be quick here. This is going to take me about a minute. I'm 50-50 right now. Now, I'll go to the defense real quick. The defense is okay. The front seven's good. I think they need a corner. I think they need a corner and a safety. It could be in the draft or free agency or a trade. They should trade for Gilmore.
Okay.
I'm going back to Gilmore here, not JC, because JC is more man-to-man. Gilmore's more zone. If you put Gilmore in a scheme with Kyle Shanahan and his zone-type defense, and let that front seven wreak havoc and have Gilmore on the best receiver in zone, you should be okay. And the safety, I think they should go get a safety. I think there's a safety out there. I forgot his name, but he's out of Notre Dame. The 49ers should go get that safety. I think that's it for them. And going back to the offense. Listen, man, the offense isn't bad. It just comes down to what you want to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll say this. If you don't get a decent haul back for Jimmy Garoppolo, Eric, I wouldn't make the trade. It's as crazy as it sounds. I just wouldn't make the trade. Because you don't want to trade Jimmy and say, we're just going to trade Jimmy for a third, a fifth, and then a seventh, like, say, the next year after that. That's a terrible trade. Because then you can make the argument. I know Jimmy has his flaws, but Jimmy took a team to the Super Bowl. He almost took his team this year to the Super Bowl, almost being the Rams if Jaquaski Tart didn't drop that throw Matthew Stafford had in the middle of the field, which should have been our pick. Jimmy Garoppolo, as much as people bash him, he's a solid quarterback in this league. And if you don't get a decent haul back for him, I would say this. Teams should be offering at least a second, even a first round pick for Jimmy G. I know it's crazy, but this is a year where teams need quarterbacks. There's no good. This draft is not good. Not until next year where you get Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, Ohio State and Alabama. This draft class isn't the best quarterbacks, and the two best quarterbacks we brought up, Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett, are going to go pretty decently early. Someone's going to grab them. If I'm the 49ers. Jimmy G, there has to be a good trade to trade away Jimmy G. If not, I would keep him and roll with him. But they drafted Trey Lance. That's fine. Let Trey Lance learn another year. Ain't gonna hurt him. Ain't gonna hurt him to sit for for another season just to learn, right? It doesn't hurt. Remember, he hasn't played football for almost, I think, going back to college. He only played one season, then COVID messed it up, and then he didn't play that other year when they came back. So let him rest, let him learn the scheme. Maybe you bring him in for gadget plays, but if you don't get a haul for Jimmy G, don't make the trade. You know.
I
But
do. I
the
agree.
next team you have is the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks, they're basically just in rebuilding phase. They're in rebuilding phase. They just traded away Wilson. They just
Yeah,
released Bobby Wagner.
yeah,
They're in rebuilding phase. They're in okay. Let's try to get a young team. Let's try to coach this team up. They got Drew Lock, which I don't know. He hasn't performed really well in Denver, so hopefully maybe that could change around when he's at Seattle. But
agree. Yeah.
they got Fant. They got Fant, so that replaces Grant. That replaces him. You could do a little something with the receiver core. You can have a little. You guys' run game will be solid though, like always. The run game is always solid for Seattle. Um, but they got a lot of picks though. They are an extremely amount of picks. So you just draft away. Between these years, you literally just draft away, trying to get the best guy you can get at that position that you guys need them at. Because right now, you guys have, oh my gosh, you just said his name earlier. I'm so terrible at names. Um, Jamal Adams. They have Jamal Adams. He's
Yeah.
a really good, strong safety, and he will make plays strong, free. Think he's well back at Jets. He was a strong safety. He's just a really good safety in general. He will come down, make the run stop, or he will just be back there and make a play in open. You feel me? Um, Defensively, get another DM. You guys need pass rushers to pressure the quarterback on the defensive side. You guys cannot let them run all over you guys. You can't be just okay, let me try to get the ball and do something with the offense and just score. And it can't just be a shootout. It can't be a
Hmm.
60-65 game. You can't allow that. The defense has to put up numbers. They cannot be allowing, now that Wagner's gone, they cannot be allowing passes over the top like they can't be doing that. So Jamal Adams
Yeah.
is gonna there's gonna be more weight on Adams' shoulders because Wagner's out. Yes, he was older. Yes, they didn't want him in. He was a veteran, stuff like that. But he played a key role, and because they were like, okay, we have these two at the backfield. We can't really pass that often. You feel me? They're lurking at all times, and so you get a run stopper in the draft and you just keep on picking away. You hopefully you luck out with Drew Lock,
Hmm.
and he becomes actually a decent quarterback after all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just my take on it. And plus, they also got the D tackle from they also
Shelby
got
Harris.
him,
Yeah.
so he'll be a vital part in their defense as well. You just put somebody else around him too. Who
Yeah.
else?
I agree. I agree with that, man. And I got the Ravens next here,
Mm-hmm.
and for the Ravens, I think the best thing for the Ravens is to build the O line.
Mm-hmm.
The O line they have to protect Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Lamar's a running quarterback, but I think protecting him is key
Mm-hmm.
because you saw down the stretch he kind of got hurt. Now, I don't know if that's part of the O line, but you got to protect Lamar for the long term. And then maybe get a receiver. I know we talked about Allen Robinson earlier. Allen Robinson should be a guy to go after. I like Marquise Brown, but I think Allen Robinson will help for jump balls and stuff like that. So I think they should go get him. Defensively, I think they're pretty good. I think the only thing they need is maybe a middle linebacker. I know you brought him up a couple minutes ago, but Bobby Wagner is a free agent. He's a vet. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a Hall of Famer. I bring in Bobby Wagner. He will booster that defense a great deal, and I think he'll be able to help that run. And they're good at stopping the run already, but Bobby Wagner will make that defense really good at stopping the run right away. But I'm gonna throw it back to you because I don't really have much on them, but I think you have the Bills next.
Bills. I'm just. Yes, I do. Bills. Nothing really to do. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're they're doing really good, extremely
yeah,
good. It
yeah,
was unfortunate that they had to go into overtime, and the rules are stupid. I honestly think that if they, you know, had the rules where like what's it called? Each team should get the ball. Like you get the ball one time and they should score, and
yeah,
whoever scores and whoever doesn't score, they win or lose the game type stuff. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and Patty Mahomes just went down the field and did his thing. So, but it was a really good game. They have the pieces on defense, they have pieces on offense. They just try to go win that chip again. For me, that's what I think.
yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. And my next team is the Denver Broncos. So I know they just made a trade to get Russell Wilson.
Hmm.
Um, I think they gave up a big haul to get him, but I mean, you did get a quarterback that is a Super Bowl champion. Um, I don't know, man. I think the offense is already better. You got Russell. So the offense I'm not going to talk about. I think they're good. They got an O line, they got weapons, they got running backs. I think they're good. I'm going to talk about the defense. As much as people say this defense is a top 10 defense, I don't know. I think they need to make some moves in free agency. Not really the draft, but free agency. Von Miller would be a nice guy to bring right back to the organization. I know they traded him, but I think Von coming back will help this defense. And another guy we just brought up, or I just brought up again. I'm bringing him up again because I forgot about him until you said him. Bobby Wagner. I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby joins Russell in Denver and says, let's go run it back and try to win a championship with Denver now. I think Denver's not far. I think they just need a couple vets from free agency to help this defense, and they're right. I think they're contenders. I think they're contenders. Hot take, though. I know some people have said Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer. I don't know. How's he a Hall of Famer? I don't know what his numbers are, but he has one ring. He's been in the Super Bowl twice. He won one ring. I don't know, man. I think that's a topic for another day we bring up, Eric. But I don't know. Russell Wilson as a Hall of Famer, I got to look into the stats. So, but I'm going to pass it back to you. We're flying by this quick because we're almost towards the end.
Yeah.
And I think you have the Texans, which should be, which should be quick.
They're basically in the same state as Detroit Lions are.
Yeah.
Everything,
Yep.
everything. Like I don't know. They like this dude. This dude basically got locked up. He's not locked up, but he's not playing either. So
Yeah.
there goes your quarterback. And like you got no receivers. I mean you got what's his face. Oh my gosh, he was under D Hop when he was there. Um,
Oh,
um,
oh, oh. I'm trying to remember. Brandon Cooks.
they have him. They have him, and they have another one. I'm talking about the other guy.
I can't think of his name, man.
I think it's no. But anyways, they have two solid receivers, but you just need everything done. Like you can't get no offense going, you can't get no defense going. You guys shouldn't even be in the league, honestly. To take out the Detroit Lions and the league will be a better place.
Yep.
Honestly. Like
I agree. I agree, bro. I agree. And I think the Texans, they have some hope. I mean, you got Brandon Cooks. David Mills looked good as a 6th-round pick. So maybe there's something there. I don't know. But my next team is the Chiefs. They brought back Orlando Brown, who's a real good right tackle when healthy, or tackle when healthy.
mm-hmm.
Um, dude, I think their offense is solid. I think the only thing they need to bring in is a running back, and a running back Now this would be crazy. I know you're saying, wait, they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they got Jarrett McKinnon,
Hmm.
they got Daryl Williams, I believe his name is. Why didn't they need a running back? I think they should use some of the picks because they got Patrick Mahomes, they got Travis Kelsey, they got Tyreek Hill. I think they should go all in, almost like the Rams did. This is a guy they should go after, Christian McCaffrey.
Mm.
I'd put all your chips in the middle and make a move and bring Christian McCaffrey over from Carolina from the NFC. And your offense is crazy now. The offense is already good, but Christian McCaffrey adds a dynamic of a run game and he can catch out of the backfield. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is solid, but I think I feel like if he's a better number two back, where that first back beats up the defense, but then you bring in Clyde who has fresh legs and then he can break for a big run. I like Christian McCaffrey. I think Kansas City should put some eggs in the basket and go get him. That'll make him a great offense. Defensively, I think the only thing they need to fix is that secondary. Bringing back Tyrann Mathieu is huge. They can't let him walk. They better pay him. They got to pay him. But you got to fix that secondary. The corners need help. And I think guys in the draft and free agency and trade should happen. Kansas City should go all in. I think Kansas City should use what the Rams did and go all in. They got a good unit, right? Some of these guys are aging a little bit. Remember, Travis is 32, I believe now, right? I would go all in. For Chris Jones is in his 30s now almost. Tyrann Mathieu is 32, I think. I would go all in if I'm Kansas City, but that's all I got on them.
Okay.
But yeah,
I agree
yeah.
with that. I can agree. Um, so I got the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, they got decently far this year. They got to the first round of the playoffs. Um, I think they honestly have the pieces. Tweak up your O line a little bit, but you have the pieces. Sorry for what's his face? The receiver. I forgot. He could have.
Um, forgot too. Who
Yeah, but I'm sorry for him. That was unfortunate. He could have been a pretty good receiver in the future.
Oh, Henry Ruggs, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he could have been a pretty good receiver in the future. Like he was showing promise, but they also have Josh Jacobs. They also have some other key guys that could do it for them, and they they were able to what is it called? They were able to beat the Chargers in that situation and kick them out of the playoffs. So they have promise. They show promise. They're an up and coming team, and I think they have the pieces. You tweak up the O line, and you tweak up your secondary, and you got a playoff contending team.
Yeah, man. And I agree with that take. And I think for this team and the Raiders, with everything that happened with them, with John Gruden and Henry Ruggs, and I think another guy on their team, to get to the playoffs and actually played Cincinnati pretty well, shout out to them. I think they're not far either. I think they just need some pieces on offense and keep rebuilding that defense. My final team is New England, the New England Patriots. Listen, I brought it up earlier. I think J.C. Jackson need to be their top priority. J.C. Jackson and I believe Hightower are free agents. They're vets. They're Super Bowl champions. You should bring them back. I think they're going to bring back Hightower, but J.C. Jackson is up in the air because Bill Belichick's not known to bring back safeties or corners that he has to pay high money. Look, he traded Gilmore because he didn't want to pay him. So if he's going to let J.C. walk, if I'm New England, they're in a tough situation. The other thing is, I think they should trade one of their tight ends, and it's not Hunter Henry. I think it should be Judon. Um, listen, he's a good tight end. He came from Tennessee, but he's not. He doesn't fit the scheme because he's not a great blocker in the run game. And New England's a run-based team. I would trade him, get some picks, and then rebuild in the draft. New England just needs to fix the offense, Eric. I think that's it. They fixed the offense. They're on a good path to getting back to a top-tier team in the AFC. The offense needs to be key, and they need to get a number one, right? They need to get a number one. Allen Robinson, right? Trading for Michael Thomas, making moves. Go get a number one. That's all they need. They get a number one. I think they're going to be a dangerous team because Bill Belichick's already a great coach. Get a number one receiver. I think they'll be a real solid team. Defensively, like I said, they're a little bit of an older unit, but I think they'll be okay in the long run just because they have a great coaching staff. They bring back Hightower. They should be fine. The key thing is I think they should pay JC. They're not going to just because how Bill runs his team, but they got to pay JC Jackson. And I'm going to give it to you as the last team you got is the Jets.
Jets. Honestly, they start with this. What is their strengths? Their strengths is their receiving core and quarterback. They have a young quarterback. They have a good receiving core. Another strength is they have a solid defensive line. They have a solid
Yes.
defensive line. So, in the draft, you look for, again, alignment, protect your quarterback. And then after that, you go for probably, the best corner, the best, go for a safety. Go for a safety or, the best corner in the draft, Sauce, He's a really solid, he's a really good corner. His grade was, I think, within the 30s or low 20, I think 21 actually. His grade was I was looking on Twitter, and last time I seen about Sauce, his grade was like in the 20s, and just kept on going lower. He kept on progressing better and better, and he is the best corner in the draft. He has the less athleticism, he has speed, he has the IQ, he could guard, your guys' best receiver. If you guys don't want to put him in that situation, you guys will let him guard the number 2 receiver. Feel me? But that's a guy you guys need to pick up. Pick up a linebacker as well. Feel me? Have that guy. Have your Mike. Have a Mike that's gonna get down and dirty in the box, but also
I mean, they do have C.J. Mosley though.
they do. But
Yeah.
okay, so they have C.J. Mosley. So they get a they get a Will or another outside linebacker. They need
Yeah.
someone to pair him up with. So
I agree. I agree.
you never see, unless you're just like an all-star linebacker, you never see linebackers only just have one. You never just you have to pair them up. You get what I'm saying? You have
Yes.
to pair them up.
You have to.
So you get someone in the draft or trade for someone that could pair up pretty well with C.J. Mosley, and then you guys honestly have a solid team. I think like they're not too far. They just need a couple good picks, a couple good trades to be a playoff contending team. Yes,
Yeah, I agree. I agree,
yes,
man.
the coaching has been south a little bit, but they honestly have they have the talent.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And with all these teams here, I think the only thing they need to do in this draft class too, I think for a lot of teams, you're not going to find. You might get a superstar here and there, but I think this draft is really to build a nice unit for the future, like role players, maybe all pros, but I don't think there's going to be any crazy superstars in this draft. Maybe a few we might not see, but this draft class is going to be built off building up a nice unit for the coming years
Yeah,
for a lot of these teams. But this is a good pod. This is a good podcast.
this is good.
Just going over the teams, what they need. And this is good. This is real good. We're going to close out here, though, guys. I appreciate everyone watching. This is the Speak What You Please podcast. As usual, if you stayed this late in the video, you're a real one. If not, you just lame. But that's all right. I appreciate everyone watching the pod. Speak What You Please. We'll post this probably by Friday. But yeah, that's it. So, see ya.